season. And it certainly ended on a marvelous note if you're a football fan. A great game. Two terrific teams. And Denver, the underdog, prevailing 31-24.
You know, Phil, you and I had the feeling all week long that this was going to be a terrific football game.
Well, Paul, I think we knew, or we had the suspicion, games don't change just because it's the final one. We knew that the Broncos could run the football. I don't think the Green Bay Packers have faced a team all year that lines up and comes at you and can be as physical and has a running back of the style of Terrell Davis.
Well, much more of the trophy presentation we'll hear from the men who wrote the story here in San Diego tonight. And, of course, that will include John Elway. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Well, it's messages from your local channel instead. You've just witnessed arguably one of the best Super Bowls ever played. You've also seen the AFC jinx end at 13. And, Marv, what a great game.
A tremendous game. Exciting, hard played, down to the last tick of the clock before it could be determined. It was a great game to watch, and a thrill. I know that the exultancy they must be feeling is beyond measure.
We don't want to root for one side or the other, but it's hard to begrudge John Elway a championship.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I mean, this is his fourth time he's been in this situation, and he comes away. He caps off a wonderful Hall of Fame type career with this Super Bowl victory today. It is a great performance by him and, of course, his partner Terrell Davis.
Well, we'll come back and talk more about Terrell Davis after the break and whether John Elway perhaps is going to retire after this Super Bowl win. But first, we'll take this break. And the Denver Broncos. He talked about retirement, Marv. Do you think he might go after this one?
My guess is yes, but it'll take a little while to do it. I think when he stands back and says, I've accomplished so much, he's 37 years old, I think he may. That'd be my guess.
Kevin, what about the hometown boy, Terrell Davis, the most valuable player of the Super Bowl in San Diego, where he was born?
Isn't that unbelievable? You know, he had everybody and his brother and sister and all their relatives here at this game. Must have had 110 Super Bowl tickets. And for him to come in here and have the game of his life, at the most important game of his life, was just good for him. He's a good fella.
Well, let's recap the second half, and it started off very badly for Terrell Davis, didn't it, Marv, with that fumble on the very first play of the third quarter.
Absolutely. Here he had missed the whole second quarter. We felt that Terrell had to be back in there, so he takes the handoff deep in his own territory, trying to fight for extra yards. Green Bay gang tackling. Out comes the ball, and the fact that Green Bay was not able to get a touchdown following this had great impact on the game. They got a field goal, but they had to kick it twice. They had two opportunities to get a touchdown.
Yeah, since we talked so much about turnovers, I suppose we should recap the final score. It was 3-2 in Denver's favor, but 10 points. It was equal on points produced out of each of them. And then Davis started to wear down the Green Bay defense on the next drive by the Broncos.
You know, like we had talked about, he did fumble that ball, and it was important to get the ball right back in his hands to make sure his dauber wasn't down. And he just got the ball, and he just kept chugging, and he just kept running the ball.
Here he is on the Broncos' next drive, picking up, I think, a first down on 3rd and 2.
And you know what? Look at that hole. I mean, that you've got to credit that to the offensive line. They opened a hole that was like 3 yards wide, and he has the vision. Terrell Davis has the vision to see that and just burst through it.
Now, John Elway perhaps didn't have his greatest ever day passing, but his sheer determination took him down the field, and there was a great run on that touchdown drive.
Right. I think he played efficient football today. And this right here shows you his determination and his just sheer will to win this game. He was willing to throw his body to the wind, and whatever happened to him, so be it. He was going to do everything he could to get the first down on this play and keep the drive alive.
Marv, the same kind of determination, a more mobile quarterback than your old competitor Jim Kelly, but the same kind of determination.
I think there are a lot of similarities between the two. Both of them come up with big plays. They are never give up guys. They battle back not just in the course of a game, but if they've had a disappointment and lost a game, they're going to come back and be tough next week. I admire them both. Jim I know better, but I certainly have great admiration also for John Elway.
Well, Jim sadly didn't get a Super Bowl before he retired. John Elway is going to get one. And there is Pat Bowlen, a very proud Denver Broncos owner, being interviewed by NBC's Greg Gumbel. Let's go over now to the network and see the presentation.
For John.
John, as much as everyone has wanted this for you, you told me a few weeks ago that you wanted this one just as much for the fans in Denver. And I know that in the media guide, under Pat Bowlen's area, it says, I want us to be first in everything.
I tell you what, I don't even know what to say. I never thought I was hoping someday I'd be up here, and today we are. And you can't give enough credit for these two guys right here. They make it all happy. But I tell you what, my teammates, man, it was a team win today. Terrell Davis for running hard. And I tell you what, the fans in Colorado and the Rocky Mountain states that have been with us forever, this was for you too.
Head coach Mike Shanahan, you and I have wondered privately as to when this AFC losing streak would end. It came to an end today in perhaps the most competitive football game of the season.
I'm proud of our football team, and I thank Pat Bowlen for giving us opportunity to compete. Gave us all the financial resources to get this thing done, and I can't say enough about this team.
Turning points and key points of this game in your mind?
Well, we came up with a couple turnovers, and we overcame the turnovers we made. We had both teams that competed for 60 minutes. Hard-fought game, could have won either way, but we're very happy the way it turned out and the way our guys fought for 60 minutes.
Green Bay's Eugene Robinson came up with a key interception there. I imagine you had visions of putting this game away early.
Well, you know, they're a great football team. They've made a lot of plays all year. We tried to look Eugene off. He came back and made a play on Rod Smith. But anytime you play a team like the Packers, you got to show up and you got to find a way to win, and that's what happened today.
I know this is where you felt you should have been a year ago, but I imagine it's been worth the wait.
Well, it's not easy. There's a lot of great teams out there and a lot of great organizations. I'm just very proud of this one today.
Okay, our congratulations to the Denver Broncos. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Greg. I'm now joined by Neil Smith. You spent 9 years laboring in Kansas City. Your 10th year, you come over to the Broncos. A big pay cut, as we talked about in the pregame. Was it all worth it now?
It was all worth it. I'll tell you what, you know, the only reason why I came here, for one simple reason, to get this team over the hump and win the World Championship. So Denver, we bringing it home, baby, because we deserve it. Nobody in the world gave us an opportunity. Nobody picked us. But you know what? I hate the number 13, and we put it to the end, baby, because we the #1 champions, baby. And Mama, I love you.
Neil, let me ask you, because it looked as though it could get away from you very early. Mike Shanahan told the defense, the first 25 plays of this game is critical because if you get behind 14 or 21 points, they're a much different team. What adjustment did you make when you went down 7-0?
When we went down 7-0, you know, as a defense, we came back on the sideline and we just simply said, hey, you know, let's settle down. You know, we get the kinks out and play our defense. We've been getting turnovers the whole year, and now we have an opportunity to, you know, just to settle down and make plays. And we did. We got the fumbles and we got the turnovers. Those are the big things that make everything win.
Everybody wanted this for number 7, John Elway. The sentiments of the team, if you can express them.
I'll tell you what, you know, that's one of the reasons why I came. I'm happy for John. I'm happy that John made room for me to get here. And I'm enjoying every moment with him. And you know what? Only thing I can say that's going to end the chapter in my book because I played with some Hall of Fame guys in Joe Montana and also Marcus Allen. I got one that's here that's going to go down too, baby, being #1. Yeah. So all the Super Bowls he fell short, this is the one that count, baby. This is the one that count. He deserves it.
Doesn't really matter now. Neil, congratulations. Let's send it upstairs now to Dick Enberg.
We said at the start of the telecast during the introduction of the lineups, these are just little kids with the same dream every kid has that puts on a helmet, but big bodies surround them, and you see the child in all these men tonight. The wild card road to a Super Bowl championship is almost impossible. For only the second time, the wild card team has held that treasured Lombardi trophy. Brett Favre made him work. John Elway and Terrell Davis, and a brilliant line for the Denver Broncos, had the final answer. We have so much more to come. We'll hear from the Packers and more of the Broncos after this.
Very happy Broncos team holding the Vince Lombardi trophy aloft. And interestingly, the last time the AFC won the Super Bowl back in 1984, when the Raiders beat the Washington Redskins, the running back who won it for them and claimed the most valuable player trophy was a running back who'd gone to Lincoln High School here in San Diego called Marcus Allen. 14 years on, when the jinx is finally broken, it's a running back from Lincoln High School called Terrell Davis. Strange little Twilight Zone fact there. And let's finish off the highlights. We haven't quite finished the second half, and it was Davis who got the decisive touchdown.
Here he is going in, no problem. That Denver offensive line did a masterful job all day, and they were blocking for a great runner. When you have the same, it goes right for you. Davis, it's just a magnificent job, and I felt his ability to run in the fourth quarter would be the difference in the game if Denver were to win.
And, Coach, you know, you could see in the fourth quarter, too, that their offensive line, Denver Broncos offensive line, was really controlling the trenches. They were really blocking the Green Bay Packers off the ball. It was really evident.
Now, the Packers got the ball back with a chance to march down the field and win it. But when it mattered, Favre went to his old faithful outlet, Mark Chimura, but he couldn't complete the pass.
Here's a key one right there. Some great defensive breakups by the Broncos. John Mobley, the rookie who had such a great season, in on that one. I did not think the game would be won late by passing. I thought it would be won by running, and it did, in this instance, turn out that way.
Right, a couple more orders of business before we get off the air and let you all go to bed. Now, as you know, if you've been watching Blitz, you'll know that we're offering this unique record of the 1997 season, a football signed by all our sideline guests. Well, there are a couple of guests who have yet to sign it, so I'm going to pass this one round and get the signatures of Marv and Kevin. While they sign the ball, here is the question that we're asking if you want to get your hands on this ball. You have to write in and tell us which other team, apart from the Buffalo Bills, Marv coached as a head coach. As a head coach. Write in and tell us. You've got to get your entries in before next Thursday, and you can get your hands on this ball. Well, Marv, we don't want to embarrass you, but there are few enough people in the game who merit the description of gentleman and a scholar. There's one fewer in the game now, so indulge us while we pay a small tribute to a great career.
Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
When we won, we all won. When we lost, we all lost. And we all rallied to fight again.
Listen to this crowd. Can we get a Do You Believe It band? Do you believe it?
We're going to give a game ball to Marv, Levy, London Vickers.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you.
I'm grateful to the coaches on my staff. I know when you look up there on the wall, you'll see my name. But when I look up there and see those letters, I'll see their names too.
For all of you, as I prepare to step aside, I'm going to treasure not what we accomplished, but what we shared. Thank you, Gary. That was a surprise to me, and it was very nice of you and people at Channel 4.
I'm sure you were caught up in the excitement, but did it bring it home in any way today that you're never going to go back to one of these games?
Sure. I sat here and I felt from Kevin, who still has an opportunity, the longing we'd have to be down there on the field. Not that we don't like you, but we would like to have been down there on the field competing in that game and taking our chances to come away with the exultant feeling that the Denver Broncos did today.
So what's next for you apart from a well-deserved rest?
Well, I might do some broadcasting work in the future, and I'll take some time to think about it.
You're not quite ready to go into the broadcasting booth yet, Kevin. Thinking of staying with the 49ers? You've had two teams in 2 years. Where can we expect to see you next year?
Who knows? I'm going to be somewhere. I'm going to play maybe 1, maybe 2 more years. And it's just hard to get it out of my blood. I tell you what, I sweated throughout this game today. I felt like I was down there. So it's just in my blood. And one day I'm going to have to give it up, but not now.
Well, thankfully, we're up on the loge level where you couldn't get over the balcony and get down. Otherwise, I think you might have been. My thanks to both our guests tonight, Kevin Greene of the San Francisco 49ers, Marv Levy. My thanks to you for watching. Your thanks should go to the people whose names you're about to see, the roll call of people responsible for making the show this season. Good night from San Diego.
Start Monday evening.
I don't know, it's fun. A decade ago, fewer